family, friends and colleagues will all gather today to honor the life and legacy of media personality Warrick Stock, popularly known as DJ Waras. The funeral service is taking place at the Rosebank Catholic Church in the north of Johannesburg. The 40-year-old was gunned down exactly a week ago in the Joburg CBD. 2 suspects have now been arrested as investigations continue. SABC News reporter Lopang Alamu is watching the story and joins us now live from outside the church itself. And Lopang, you've already managed to catch up with some of the family members who've gathered there. It's certainly going to be a somber final send-off for a life cut short way too soon.
Definitely, Ayanda, also really emotional. In fact, however, the family will, get some solace or find some solace from those arrests that were made yesterday after those 2 suspects were questioned and then eventually charged with the murder. But today, the main focus will be on the family really just saying their last goodbyes, his loved ones, as well as friends. Speaking of friends, we do have a guest here, Siyabonga Metani, popularly known as a Slikour, who's an industry colleague as well as a friend. Thank you so much for your time, Siya. Quite a somber moment, one would say.
Yeah, it is. It's unfortunate. It's a very unfortunate moment for the family, unfortunate moment for the children, and just for the energy, the frequency for us in the industry, a type of energy like Warras is rare,
The industry has lost quite a number of people lately. It's quite a sobering moment, but also really confusing at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think industry people are also people too. And I think a lot of people outside industry, there's been a lot of losses. And for me, this is that humbling moment that reminds us that we are a community. He might have been Warras Stockman, DJ Waras. He might have been famous, but he was working. This was his job, right? So I think that it's a loss. That I think a lot of people are going through it, and even our community in our industry, we're experiencing unfortunate and tragic losses like these.
On a lighter note, what are some of the moments you'd miss about him, or some fond memories you have of him?
I just feel I never got enough time to tap into his high frequency, because he has a high frequency. In fact, his frequency is so high, is in positive frequency, that the last time I saw him, I never greeted him because he was preoccupied. He was working at the Travis Scott concert. So his energy was very much taking care of things. So because that's not even, I never even approached him. I was like, Miguel, because that his energy never felt like he was who he normally is at work, right? I think it was just hectic at the time, doing his security work there. So, but I feel that if there's one thing I probably should have done more is just tap into that frequency.
Thank you so much for your time. We will now be speaking to the sister of Warrick Stock. I'm not too sure if she'll be making her way at this moment, just to get a sense of how the family is doing. We do know that today's service is not the last for the family. The family will be holding a private ceremony tomorrow now. Now, this is where they will really be saying their last goodbyes. Nicole, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining us. Please talk to us about, how the family feels at the moment, especially since those 2 suspects were arrested.
I won't comment on the suspect part, everybody is aware of what's going on. Like I said to everyone in my previous speech, is that let's just allow justice to take its course, and the relevant people who are aware of everything to report on that. The family is quiet. No one's really said anything, which I think is better. It's not our place to blame, to point fingers, so we just want to be still and mourn our brother. But like I mentioned to the other lady, I forget her name, I'm not really familiar with television, that it is sad. It's somber. He was the life of the house. He was the light. He was the energy. He was this little tsunami that used to come in. So that noise and that bubbliness and that energy is gone.
And the support that you received from the general public, talk to us about that.
People have been absolutely phenomenal. I met a lady in his building, I forget her name, And she just came, walked up to me, and she was crying. And she said, you know, your brother was amazing. He saw me one day crying and I'd lost my granny. And he stayed with me and he checked up on me all the time. And this is a stranger, you know, and I realized it's lovely that I see he has wings, because that was who he is. He was the epitome of love, you know. And I met another lady who heard my voice. She must have heard me speak. And she walked up to me and she's like, I knew your brother, you know. And he impacted our lives and my children's lives. And I'm thinking, when did he find the time to touch so many people in the flesh? How does one person get around to so many different people? So the public and the friends have been absolutely phenomenal. The love is pouring in from every direction, and I'm so grateful and humbled. On behalf of my family, I can't thank everybody enough. It's just, words can't express my gratitude.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Well, Ayanda, I think we'll just leave it there for now as we wait for the formal program to start in just under an hour, we understand. And the family, the sister, as we've just heard, really just saying, let the law take its course. We'll wait and listen and follow the instructions of the authorities that be. I think we'll leave it there for now as we wait for that formal program to start.
Right, Lopanga Lamus live to us there from outside the Rosebank Catholic Church. As you can see, we also have a live picture for you inside the church itself, where a requiem mass, we understand, will be held from 10 o'clock. Warrick Stock was also very vocal about his faith in some instances, mentioning that he is Catholic, so we expect him to be laid to rest according to those rites. For now, Lopang, thanks very much indeed. Meanwhile, the two suspects who've been arrested in connection with the murder of Stock will appear in court tomorrow. Police say the popular DJ was approached by 3 unknown men, all captured on CCTV, who opened fire before fleeing on foot.
They are due to appear before the Johannesburg Magistrate Court on Wednesday, 24 December 2025. The search for more suspects is underway as investigations continue.
All right, as soon as, of course, that funeral gets underway, we'll take you back to the Rosebank Catholic Church.